For as long as the party claims to be democratic, factions are bound to arise. It's all a matter of how do you manage them. I am going to manage factionalism in the NPP and bring the party together. I'll use my depth of social networking and political diplomacy, my ability to listen to people more than talking to them or talking at them, patience and empathy, among others, to bring together all perceived and real factions existing in this party. The continued existence and festering of factionalism will pose a very serious threat to the party's ability to win executive power in 2016. And I will not relent in my efforts at addressing this problem. These natural qualities make me the true unifier, and I will not shirk that pivotal responsibility. The next item is on independent candidates. The incidence of independent candidates has played a very destructive role in the party's ability to annex executive power. I will strive to avoid the various factors that usually lead to the emergence of independent candidates in the first place. In the unlikely event that some individuals would still express interest in contesting as independent candidates, despite the various precautionary measures we would put in place to check its occurrence, I have what it takes to handle the phenomenon, because I have done it before. It is noteworthy, ladies and gentlemen, that wherever this problem crops up, that is, wherever you have independent candidates, irrespective of whether the independent candidate eventually wins the election, the seat, or the party's candidate wins the parliamentary seat, the presidential candidate ends up losing a good chunk of the presidential votes through no fault of the presidential candidate. This must stop, needless to say. And I have the magic wand to address the problem. So I should give you a typical example. In Ashanti region, during the 2008 elections, there were 17 independent candidates in that region alone, for various reasons. I will cite only 3 of them. Nsuta Kwaman Bikoso, Achuma Ngwabieja, and Bekwai. Usually in Nsuta Kwaman Bikoso, you know the MP, the then MP, Osei Prempe. He usually won with 22,000 votes. And the NDC will come to about 6,000 in that constituency. Something happened, and somebody decided to go independent. At the end of the day, Osei Prempe's votes dropped from 22,000 to 12,300 votes. And the independent candidate ended up getting the balance of 9,200. Independent candidates. He lost, yes, but he took a good chunk of the votes from him. He could have even won. And what is interesting here is that if you put the two figures together, you go back to 22,000. However, and then in those days, the presidential candidate will also get around the same 22,000 votes. But this time around, Nanadu got 17,000 in Nsuta Kwaman Bikoso, which means he lost 5,000 precious presidential votes because somebody went independent. The independent candidate campaigned for himself and campaigned for our presidential candidate, all right, but some people were still angry. So, in protest, they voted against our presidential candidate. We lost 5,000 presidential votes. Bekwai, the independent candidate, in the person of Osei Usu, had 34,000 votes, independent candidate, and the NPP's official candidate had 8,000 votes. You put the two together, you get 42,000 votes. Nanado got 48,000. He lost 4,000 presidential votes because somebody went independent. Atuma Mobiaja, a similar story. We lost 6,000 presidential votes. These three alone, put together, out of 17 independent candidates in Ashanti region, accounted for 15,000 presidential votes. And we lost the election by 23,000 votes. Somebody should convince me here that independent candidates don't matter. That is my baby. I will address this issue when my people elect me as the national chairman. I have the magic wand. Party financing. I have devised an effective mechanism to enable the party to think outside of the box in our attempts to attain financial independence. In addition to our regular sources of party financing, I will introduce other very effective methods of fundraising, foreign and local alike, that will eventually ensure that the party will always be on its feet financially. I'll broaden the base of our dues-paying members as part of this effort, because there is no reason why about only 120,000 registered members are currently paying dues, while over 5 million people voted for our presidential candidates. We cannot reconcile this. I will work at that. By broadening this base, we will reduce the monthly dues to rake in more funds. Constituency and regional offices will then retain part of the funds so generated, and the MPs and chairmen will be spared the financial burden of having to fund the party fully from their pockets. Details of this arrangement will be made available when I hit the road, when I'm meeting the delegates. Research and communication. Communicators of the party will have to work in unison to ensure standardization in the dissemination of information and in their responses to issues of national interest. It hurts the party when different communicators have to issue different facts and figures to react to topics that come to the table for discussion. I will address this anomaly as well. Regular opinion polls will be conducted to ascertain the true position of the party at every point in time for corrective measures to be taken. Our regional, constituency, and national communication officers, with the assistance of professional pollsters, will be harnessed to ensure the attainment of this goal. External branches of the party. In view of the crucial role being played by the party's external branches, I will make every effort to rope them into the mainstream party administration. The party is yet to exploit the immense potential that this particular shareholder has to offer us. A few of the areas in which the external branches can assist us are international political networking, party financing, platforms for the infusion of technology into party administration, and intellectual discourse in general, among others. More details will be made available in due course. Members of Parliament. Our members of Parliament have always been the nerve center and the heartbeat of the party, especially when we are in opposition. This nerve center covers party financing, national and international political engagements, participation in the National Executive and National Council deliberations, etc., etc. I have plans to expand the role that our MPs have to play, especially in ensuring unity at the constituency and regional levels, as well as reducing the incidence of independent candidates after our parliamentary and presidential primaries. I'm confident that they will live up to these expectations. More details will be rolled out. Women, youth, and national branches. These three wings of the party will be strategically strengthened and empowered to operate to their full potential in order to win more votes and seats for us. The majority of voters in our general elections fall under women, youth, and the Muslim group. Hence, the need to invest heavily in these wings to reach out to them. Special programs and projects will be initiated for them to implement. The Women's Wing and the MP's caucus must work together to fashion out mutually beneficial ways and means of increasing women's representation in Parliament. While attempting to increase the number of women in Parliament through an amorphous affirmative action plan, we should not allow that crave to negatively affect other potential parliamentary aspirants of the opposite gender. Hence, the need to forge a close working relationship between the women's group and the parliamentary caucus. Technology, the hallmark of Stephen Ntim's administration. As a systems engineer by training, I will aggressively pursue an increasing usage of technology in the running of the affairs of the party in areas such as database management, gradual dissemination of internet usage to our regional and constituency offices, and election monitoring, to mention just a few of them. We will be better positioned to counter any underhand technological maneuvers from any quarters that could potentially affect our chances of winning the 2016 elections, including pinches. I will seek the involvement of our external branches in this endeavor. In line with this innovation that I am bringing on board the administration of NPP, an official website for my personal campaign and beyond will be launched in the course of this program, this meeting. Brong Ahafo, the Swing region, the 2016 battleground. It has been empirically established through the results of all the general elections since the inception of the Fourth Republican Constitution that Brong Ahafo has become a swing region, whether we like it or not. This is no magic, no myth, no superstition. It is empirically established through the figures available. Since 1992, and for that matter, since the inception of the Fourth Republican Constitution, any political party that wins the presidential election in this region ends up winning the general election, unless somebody else has other contrary evidence. I'll give you the figures as well.